to Miss Drea. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Listen, guys, I have some awesome guests with me today. I have my cousin, Marlon Wolf here. He's an entrepreneur, a dad, husband, brother, son, all of that good stuff. And then I have my great friend, Reverend Minister, what you go by? Jonathan Stubbs. Jonathan Stubbs. He's a dad and a son, brother, all that good stuff. Entrepreneur, both of them are entrepreneurs. Family men who are very active in the community and just want to see people do great. And so we're gonna get into this. Y'all ready to get into this, fellas?
Let's do it.
So, if you've been following Miss Drea, you probably saw a couple of weeks ago I hosted an episode called Breaking Generational Curses. And during that episode, I had two females with me, great females, and we really enjoyed that episode, and I got a lot of feedback from it. So I wanted to come on and give you all the men's perspective. How, as black men, have you been able to, or how have you been exposed to those generational curses that you grew up with and maybe didn't really recognize or identify with as a young adult, but now as a full-grown man, you're like, dang, why, I got to do better, or I can't go down that same path. But what is one of those generational curses that you felt like, okay, I will not allow this to be to affect my children's children. I got to make a change. What is something that you felt like you just really had to do different, from what your parents did or what you grew up seeing?
Well, one thing I say is credit, financial literacy. Mm-hmm. I mean, growing up down, they only could teach you what they knew.
Right.
So we wasn't taught on, you need to have good credit once you get older. Save your money for this, for that, because, it just teaches you that, now you get older, you got to have good credit to be able to get anything. Buy a house, buy a car, even sometimes get a job.
Right. So,
that's something that I try to teach my kids, and then just tell them, is you need to have good credit. You got to practice it on, just the difference between wants and needs.
Right. Make that balance.
And me growing up, you know how we grew up. You gonna get what they give you, and that's it. The kids now more, we try to give them more than what we had, but then I still think that they lack the part of, having a hard time.
Right.
We give them so much,
mm-hmm.
and so it just feel like I want to give them more, but then you still want to show them okay. Say no sometimes.
Right. You gotta be responsible.
You gotta be responsible, because you still gonna, because once they go in the real world, it ain't always gonna be a yes.
Right.
So you just try to teach them balance and teach them, how to go. Try to practice on saving your money, keep your credit good.
Right.
Because that's gonna take you places.
Mm-hmm. And not only that credit affects like you being able to make a purchase, but if you've read studies, your credit affects how high your insurance is, how high your car insurance is, and if some insurance companies will even insure you, because they will deny you based off your credit. Mm-hmm. Your job, a lot of jobs do those credit checks too. So having good credit or decent credit is makes a big difference in your in the way you move. And that one thing I do try to tell my daughters, like, everything you do is gonna affect you in the long run. It's gonna affect your future. You get all these credit cards and you ain't you spending crazy, then you try to get a car.
Exactly.
And your insurance, your rate gonna be out the roof, and then you may or may not be able to get insurance that's at a decent rate.
One thing about credit that I like and admire is what it's a reflection of. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is it kind of lets you know what kind of person you are on the low.
Yeah. Right.
We're focusing more on credit with regards to being able to buy things etc., etc. But you also have credit with friends and relationships.
Yes.
There's people who you don't have good credit with because you ain't getting their $5 back.
Right.
So it's much broader than just being able to buy things, but it's a reflection of your character, your money management skills, how on time you are, how late you are, and so I just like the fact that credit is focused on from a whole wider range of things. You know what I mean, and what it represents, what have you. So that's definitely a good curse to break, because a lot of us don't do what we said we're gonna do in a timely manner, and everybody wants things when they want it, how they want it. But you know good and well you owe that man $5.
Exactly.
And then you walking by him saying what's up and dabbing him in the whole night. Get that man his $5.
Right.
You feel like you got okay, I can push this back forward.
He got it. He don't need it.
But if you go to the loan company, you got to pay them back on the $15 whatever you
And as a small business owner, one mistake that I've made is incorporating friends and people that I know, and they don't give my company and me the respect that a normal employee does. And they just kind of feel like they can kind of come and go when they want to and take shortcuts because they know you like that, and that relationship is just is hindered, and it causes them not to have good credit with me.
Yeah.
They can't come get nothing. They can't, because of how they've laid the foundation. So yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Look, that goes into what don't mix business and pleasure.
That's
Look, if you my friend, look, but this is business. I need you to make sure you're doing this, that, and the third.
That's right.
Because if not, I'm gonna have to holler at you.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
But I think I might have talked to several family members about that. I mean, with my business, I want to employ some family, but I just know that they work ethic, and that is now I can do this because that's my cousin and all that. I want somebody dependable to say if I have to go somewhere, I ain't gotta worry about this guy gonna take care of it while I'm there.
Right.
Now and then you gotta be dependable.
Right.
So that's the main thing. So I'm by myself right now, but I'm looking at other sources outside of, so yeah.
And keeping in step with the initial question, breaking generational curses, one thing that I've learned is the importance of good relationships based on the person's qualifications.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. Building and establishing good relationships and positioning people in your life based on their qualifications. Right. Some people are good friends. Y'all do good playing cards together. You do good watching the game together.
Right.
That doesn't mean that they are a good employee.
Exactly.
So you need to know people's lanes. Exactly. And in my family coming up, just because your last name was Stubbs, my name is Jonathan Stubbs, just in case you didn't know that. Your last name is Stubbs, or our whole last name comes from Paul, P-A-U-L, the Paul family. People are becoming deacons and ministers because that's your last name, and you can't preach a single lick. So it's not about the name. It's about the ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older and seeing how those bad habits have been passed down, I've been very forward with trying to make sure that I'm careful about how I go about things based on a person's qualification, more so than just because we're cool.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, breaking those generational curses, how have you started to implement some of those new ways as a father? I know, I always think that you're a new father, but your baby about to be 5. About to be 5. Yeah. And so then you got a teenager and a preteen. So what were some of the things that you felt like, okay, now baby girl coming along, either I got to stop this, or I just got to make sure she's not exposed to that. So what are some of the things that you...
Definitely my spending habits. A briefing about me. When I was 17 years old, I wound up robbing some stores with a toy pellet gun. And it cost me a great deal of my life. I had to go to prison for 10 straight years. So going to prison from 17 to 27, that's a huge chunk out of your life, and it's the prime of your life. It's that window of time where you experience a whole lot of things. So coming out at 28 years old, not having experienced those things, now I'm doing a lot of childish things and what have you that 28-year-olds should not be doing. You know what I mean? I'm 42 now, but I'm just kind of giving you a brief history lesson. So I wound up getting blessed with, you know, finances, with situations and circumstances and relationships, and I really developed bad habits because I never had anything. You know, I was a teenager, then you go to prison for 10 years, and now you've got a couple of coins coming in. You don't know how to act. You know, you want to shine and all that other good stuff. And because I went to prison for the end of my teens and all of my 20s, basically, I didn't have any kids, of course, and so I wound up having my daughter at 38 years old. 38, 39, 40, 41. 39 years old. I was 39 when Jenna was born by my ex-wife. And I still had the same spending habits. 2 or 3 different shiny cars, watches. I mean, just doing the most, doing the most. And it wasn't good for her at all. But now I established her a savings account and getting her a CD and getting her focused in private school and all other things that matter. Now I'm kind of beginning to reel it in. And but yeah, I had to change some things because it wasn't beneficial to my baby.
Right.
My take gonna be totally opposite of what yours was.
Okay.
You say you like to spend money. I'm cheap.
Okay.
Where you get that from?
I get that from my mama.
Right.
You know,
Look,
my mama.
if it was Green Giant,
it'd be surefire. But they didn't have great value back then. But it was Equate. Walmart was Equate back then.
What was the Mountain Dew?
Mountain Lightning. We had Mountain Lightning. You know.
And
Dr.
Dew
Thunder.
Drop. It was Dew Drop. And then what was Dr. Thunder? Yeah.
BK, my mama
Nothing
didn't have, my
name
mama
brand.
hardly ever had name brand stuff.
No.
But we made do.
Right.
So I took over. I mean, that stuck with me though. You know, but that's something I tried to break with my kids. You know, just so they can be better. Cause my kids like to spin. Big time, I got girls, and I got a wife. They all they like to spin. So I had to break. You know, okay, I got to get out of this. You know, being so tight. I'd rather them have, and I not have. You know, that's just how I am. I still got shoes in my closet, probably about 10 years old. They look brand new.
Right.
People, so that's just how I am. I mean, if I don't need it, I'm good.
Right.
So, you know, I try to let them have their wants and needs, and I'm good. So they just something that I had. It took me a while to get out of. Why she said you cheat? I know, but I would, like I say, you know, I'd rather give y'all that y'all had some splurge, because I know when you get older, I don't want y'all to be without yourself. So if you got somebody that want to date you, and they gonna have to, you know, step the game up in, because y'all some needy girls. So it's just all about, you know, once you have girls, it's totally you become a little soft, to them.
No doubt.
You can't be hard, you know, like with a boy. So it's just a whole different thing. And I got she 14. My older 14 going to the 9th grade, and my youngest was going to the 5th. She's 10. And my youngest, she played AAU basketball, so we have to travel a lot. So it was a whole lot of spending going on.
Okay.
So so I had to break it easy. So you know, it is what it is, and you know, it's and I love to do it.
All right.
So now, what is one thing that you had to change as far as your outlook on women, compared to, you know, seeing your daughters grow up and thinking, okay, well, all women want is this, all women do is this, all they do is nag, and you know, this, that, and the third that we hear. There is so many stereotypes. What is something that you say, well, you know, you seeing either your daughter, she's either portraying those characteristics, or you're like, oh, well, maybe that's why women do that, or maybe that's, you know. So what was like, I guess that light that came on once you had your daughter?
With Journey, one thing that I noticed about her is that she likes to be a part of whatever I'm doing. So, for example, I ordered pizza just last night, and I had 3 slices on my plate, and she had a slice on her plate. She wanted to take a bite off of my plate. Same pizza, same temperature, same cheese, same pepperoni, same Papa John's. She wanted some of mine, and I noticed that with women I've been in the past, they always want to try some of your food, and I thought that it was just something that maybe adult women do, but no, Jenna doesn't know how to even pretend this. This is how women are constructed when they're interested in a man. I think they want to be a part of whatever he's got going on. And right now, I'm the apple of her eye. And so she kind of taught me that as a young lady. And to your point, I'm having to be much softer with how I speak to her, how I verbally reprimand her. Just kind of take it easy because this is a young lady. You know what I mean? And what that's doing is it's causing me to establish habits of speaking to a woman. Period. You know what I mean? I've never been physically abusive or verbally abusive. Period. But I haven't always spoken like a little hummingbird when I got upset. Right. But with Journey, even when I'm upset, I learn how to dress my voice in a way to where she knows I'm upset, but you don't have to be flying off the handle. Have a little poise about yourself. And so she's teaching me a whole lot, and she doesn't even realize it.
That's good. That's good. And I think I don't know. I had an incident when I had just an altercation with my daughter's coach, and she was like, "Well, we were doing such. It was after the game, blah blah." But I was like, if you were talking to somebody else, like your daughter, or if you were around your grandparents, just your tone changes. And so, just by you raising your daughter, it lets you see, okay, you don't have to be like you said, flying off the handle. Your approach is different. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing. I looked at it different because women did. Not that you say that. My wife do the same thing.
I'm telling you.
We can have the same thing. She still want to taste mine first before she can buy her. And the kid, I can't even eat in peace at home. If not my wife, both of my kids, let me get a bite. Let me get a bite. Let me tell you this. In the car, I give them a bite. And then after a while, I get too hungry. You'll be out just going on. Just going on. But yeah,
eat it in your car.
I have to, man. Anything. Like, I was doing a diet, right? So I was a bagel. I was eating blueberry bagels. Kids I never tried. Well, I don't know if they tried before, but I never brought them in the house. Bro, I used to eat half a bagel. It'd be 6 in a pack. I do it now. I may only get that one half of a bagel.
That's it.
And the rest, the kids, they want it for snack. They want it for breakfast. I'm like, man, so they love what you love. They see, well, my daddy I guess I can try this. I want to be like my daddy. Like my youngest one, she's daddy's girl. She's everything I do. She's all up under me. My oldest one, she's a daddy girl too, and she's both, but she's more. She has my personality. She's more easier, chill, laid back, and it's really not much that she really do that. She just wants something to eat or something like that. If she don't it takes a lot to get her mad. So she's like me. But my youngest one, she's different. Okay. She loves up on me, but you have to handle them different because she got a little temper. She can't get away. She definitely has a temper. I told my wife she get that from her side. But you get, like you said, you gotta know your kids. They all different, and treat them. You have to treat them different.
Right. Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
Another thing that my daughter taught me was interacting with her from a tactful perspective as opposed to a threatening perspective. In a lot of relationships, men and women, they'll say things like, well, what you don't like somebody else will, or they'll say stuff like, okay, keep playing with me. They'll hint towards them stepping out of the relationship, or hint towards, as opposed to trying to get a result out of the person, they resort to this form of a threatening manner. But with my daughter, it's about trying to produce a certain result, and it takes a certain kind of tactfulness with speaking to her, as opposed to it coming across as a threatening manner. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but I think that in a lot of relationships, people act out at the end of the day because they want a certain result. And that result is not happening, and so they don't know how to get it out of the person. And so they resort to all kinds of crazy things. And it's only going to cause a person to put a wall up, or maybe even go in the opposite direction. But if you are tactful and modest and thoughtful about your approach, like my daughter is forcing me to be, I think that it's teaching me how to interact with adults on a whole different level. Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes back to, it's not always what you say, it's how you say
That's
it.
right.
How you approach it, and you know, am I gonna be defensive and put that wall up? Am I gonna be like, oh, well, since you said it so nicely, maybe I'll let you have them $100, you know, today,
That's
or
right.
you know, or something like that. So yeah,
That's
it is.
Big,
Yeah,
it's all about how you say something.
How you say something.
And to her point, R.I.P. Mr. Kevin Samuels. A lot of people said he was after black women and he was rough, this and another. I'm going to give you a perfect example of how this brother was. If you have a young man, this is about Kevin Samuels and his approach and his delivery, and it more so was offensive because of how he delivered it, but not necessarily what he was saying. If a young man, he's playing baseball and he strikes out 10 times, and when he's in the field, 5 balls went right by him. And Kevin would say, "Hey man, your game sucks, and you need to find another score." I might say, "Well, won't you work on your game a little bit more and get more practice in?" Now, me and Kevin are telling him the same thing. You need to tighten up. Kevin just cut straight across the field, but with women and men, he was direct. And some people who don't have thick skin, they're not able to receive that. They need for you to dress it up a little bit more. But essentially, you're saying the same thing. So I think that 70%, 80% of things that he said was spot on. How he said it might not cause you to be receptive to what he was saying, but now you're ready to defend yourself and say, "How dare he? Oh no, he didn't." But when you look past the smoke at the root of what he was trying to say, I really believe that he had some very, very valid points in a whole lot of instances.
Oh yeah, that's goes so like with sports, you know, coaching. Every kid can't take strict and stern coaching.
That's right.
So, but you being a coach, you supposed to observe your team, your players, and you gotta know how to coach each individual person.
That's right.
Some of you gonna have like some hot heads. Some you can't deliver certain stuff. They can still shut down.
That's right.
So you gotta know how to coach each person, each player. So. And that's life really, right?
It's right, and I know sometimes my husband and I, we often talk about presentation. It goes right along with your approach. You gonna present me a T-bone steak on a trash can lid, or you finna put it on a platter?
Right.
Look, if we cooked it the same, it tastes the same, but what you gonna put it on? So how you, like you say, dress it up, and you giving me this information, am I gonna be able to receive it? Or I'm just gonna shut it down, like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm trying to move on. So yeah, that makes a lot of difference. And to speaking of Kevin Samuels, I had never heard of the guy until he passed, and then I started watching some videos, and I was like, wow. And like you said, what he's saying, some of the stuff that he's saying, it is spot on, but it's just how you saying it. How you gonna tell somebody, you know, how you want them to receive it. And I think a lot of it goes back to treat people how you want to be treated. Would you receive it if it was said like that? Or would you take it more if they kind of, you know, gave you a little softer tone with it and still got their point across? So, yeah, that makes a big difference. So, one thing I want to go into as far as talking about being a girl dad, I know you mentioned your ex-wife. How have you all been able to balance that co-parenting aspect of it?
The first 6 months was rough.
Imagine so.
It was rough. I mean, obviously, I filed for divorce, and I have my reasons behind why I filed for divorce. Some people, for example, if you interview 10 people who have had a divorce, they'll tell you that years before the divorce was finalized, the relationship was over. So anytime you're somewhere that was over with 3 or 4 years ago, that's called wasting time.
Bingo.
I have been locked up 10 years. So when you have someone that is wasted, the amount of time I have zero. When I see your photos on Instagram and you talking to your single friends about your marriage and what's going on in the house, they know about it. Now I'm at the cookout looking crazy. You already on thin ice. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're already on thin ice. And so when I think back about things, I could have been more patient. I really could, because my goal was to have the brick house with the white fence and the dog and I want my child to have her parents that gave birth to her. I keep up with things like that. Us African Americans don't shine in that area. In fact, if you have 100 black kids, maybe 99 of them don't have the mom and dad that had to raise them, and that's huge. That's huge. And so it was a major blow for me. But what broke the camel's back? We had a verbal argument, and this is no cap. I'm not chasing this woman around the house, not threatening her or anything. She called the police because she wanted somebody else's opinion. The last person, and mind you, she called the police when police was knocking brothers off. For fun, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I said, "Are you serious right now? Like
after your history with
like I just got out, 10 years ago. Like, are you serious right now?" And so I said, "Man, you know what?
You playing with my life."
Yeah. And so I went down there to the white folks and signed the paperwork and sent that sister on by the way. Dang. And so the co-parenting for the first 6 months was a little rough, but you know things have mellowed out and. I have my daughter 4 days per week, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I try to make sure she gets a day with her grandparents on my side, and my ex-wife has her the other times, you know. And but I do want to place emphasis on ex-wife because I don't do the baby mama thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe that her being my ex-wife speaks to the kind of man that I am. I'm not just getting you pregnant and hanging out with you. No, I'm going to marry you. You know what I mean? Right. And let's try to do this thing right. But we live in a time, guys, where this social media is, if you can't control that stuff, it is toxic to a relationship. It is toxic to a relationship. So you got to kind of be able to sift through those weeds. But now all is well.
Well, good. I'm glad y'all worked it out. But and that's crazy because you mentioned about how women are dang, I forget what you said when you talk about how women just their approach with different things, and for her to go as low as to call the police, like knowing your history and knowing like that's the last people you want in your house to have a conversation, anything. And that was a low blow. And the police, that was a low to bill.
And the police
stands for opinion. That's crazy, bro.
The police said you can't call us.
Right. So they came out.
The police came out and said no one was hit. You can't call us for this.
Right.
Yeah. And they just left. And I was like girl, like I'm as level-headed as they come. If I'm throwing stuff, if I'm chasing you in the house. If I got a knife or if I verbally threaten you, hey, get somebody to intervene. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if we're having an argument to where only voices are raised,
right?
The last that could have went any kind of way.
Yeah.
He could have came in and said, "Hey, sit down, shut up," and I said, "Man, I'm in my house."
In your house, right?
And now what you got going on? So I mean, it just wasn't a good idea.
Real bad.
Yeah, what you could have called a pastor, my mama, your cousin. You could have called many people.
Yeah.
You called 911. She had to go. Yeah.
Wow.
It's over.
That's a wrap. Look, color purple clothes the piano. Like, time to go. Dang, yeah. So what are some of the things I know you're saying? Your girls like to spend, your wife like to spend. So what is something that you have to be like, okay, you got to put your foot down. Like no. What
Oh, that's easy. Fast, you want to do fast food every day.
Every day.
Nah.
Look, I remember one time you had to go to 3 different.
Oh yeah, that's great. Well, you can't go to just one place. Everybody got a different place they want to go to. And even if you're gonna go here, because my youngest she loves Zaxby's, she can eat that every day of the week. Mm-hmm. And then my oldest one, she wants McDonald's because she gets tired of chicken. Mm-hmm. But it's just. Man, just 7 foot down, just because if we ever want to get fast food, they'll try to do that every day.
Every day.
And then, like, my oldest one now, she got it when she in the sneakers.
Mm. Oh, okay.
And then she said, my daddy, you don't even know Jordan? I said, how much do you Jordans is? $300? I said, girl, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I said, your dad don't need about $200 a pair of shoes. Not even $150 pair of shoes. Right. What like buy you something that as soon as you get them, you ain't gonna take care of like that. So I mean, that's not. You can't. You can't even resell because you gonna get them dirty. Mm-hmm. So what I did to her, I told her, I say, all right, you can make your own money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said all my jobs that I do, you can edit my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I give you $10 per edit, and then when you get good enough, you can set your own price.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, okay, I can do that. I say, so you know what you need to do? You got to do 30 edits to get you $300 to get you those shoes.
Right.
But she's like, okay, but you know, then she, I said, you can't be lazy though. You just want to sit here and do the game. You got to get on your job.
Mm-hmm.
And you got other kids. I probably get you probably doing some football field. So I'm just trying to get you, set you up to where you can start earning your own money.
Mm-hmm.
You will have, because people liking your edits that I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Once I tell them it's you, so I'm trying to set you up so you can build you something for the future.
Yeah.
And just go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what just big stuff that you don't need. I mean, it's good.
Right.
I can buy you stuff that $100, some pair of shoes, $150. I'm not paying no $300. Some of that's just crazy for a teenager.
Yeah.
Like that's 14 and it other than
less
that.
than 3 months.
Yeah,
She don't like them no more.
Now that's when it goes back to okay, we're gonna get what you need, not what you want.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some stuff is understandable, but this is nah.
Right. Wow. All right, so we're gonna flip the script a little bit. Just move away from this girl dad thing, and let's talk about this being a black man in America. What are some of the struggles that you've had to face and had to overcome? And I know with you having that felony on your record, that was a major thing. But what are some of the other things that you've had to overcome? Just being a black man.
For me personally, I don't think since I've been home, being black has been in my way. If I'm being honest,
Okay.
I think that I've been in my way with not walking in my full potential. I'm creative. I'm smart. I'm strong. Like there's not much that I can't do if I just take a minute to learn it, and that's just the truth.
Right. Look, I can do all things. That's my best scripture right there.
So like when I take a look at my bottom line, I'm not making anywhere near the amount of money that I know that I could. You know what I mean? So as a black man, I've never been called a nigger before. I've never knowingly not gotten somewhere because I'm black. I've gotten turned down because I have felonies on my record, but not to my knowledge. I've never gotten a hint that this was a racial issue. I think, and that's a blessing, that I'm able to say that, because a lot of people aren't able to say that, but for me, I think that just kind of getting in my own way with procrastination, talking a good game and not having good follow through, and being wise with my coins or stepping out on faith and going out into new ventures. I think that I've been in my own way, even going to prison. I went to prison not because the white guy was after me. I was an idiot, and I had a toy gun, and I went and robbed Papa John's, Quick Trip, and Subway, and I was happy that I had like $1,500.
Wow.
So it's I think that I just been in my own way. You know what I mean? If I may, I think that the white black thing is still prevalent.
Yeah.
But it's still prevalent, especially the white privilege. It's still prevalent, but I don't believe that black people can lean on that excuse to the degree that they could 100 years ago.
Oh, of course.
I think, I mean, listen, for me to have been to prison for 10 years and to be living how I live right now, and for my bottom line to look how it looks, clearly somebody's not racist. Clearly. So based on the evidence, I can't say that this race thing, because if it was about race, they wouldn't let me live and drive how I drive and live. That's just the truth. Right. So clearly they're like, hey man, whatever you can do, go and do it. So as a black man, I ain't had no problem with my black skin, in my opinion. What you got?
Maybe we can lean on you just blessed. Look, and favor ain't fair. So that's what we can lean on. But I will say, like you said, compared to 100 years ago, even 50 years ago,
right.
we can say that we don't have those same struggles. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a struggle, and I see that, but I think it goes back to maybe your upbringing, and that the some of the areas that your mom allowed you to go and didn't allow you to go into, even though you still got hung up with their wrong crew and did whatever. But the other part that I wanted to bring about is, do you think if you would have been white, they would have gave you them 10 years? Because now this is a fake gun.
And they had the fake gun. They knew it was fake.
They knew it was fake. So nobody's life was in danger.
Nobody's life was in danger, me except mine. You know what I mean?
Right,
yeah.
right.
That's a really good question. And I was in Gwinnett County, of all places. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't have gone. And if I did go to prison, I don't think it would have been for 10 years straight.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I did 10 years straight for a toy gun and had never been in trouble before.
Nothing on
no
the
gang affiliations or nothing. No.
Nothing.
Even the judge like, you don't look like people. So I mean, That's what they call it, the systemic racism. Because this would have been Billy Bob, right,
raised up in Alpharetta,
right,
and he's never been in trouble.
Right.
Oh, we just gonna tap you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We just now make sure you don't do that again because you hadn't graduated high school yet, had you?
17.
Wow.
Yep.
So you end up getting? Did you get your diploma while you were in prison?
I sure did. Yep, sure did. Yep. Yep, I got my GED in like 2019, I think it was.
Gotcha.
I was.
So you went till you got out and got your GED.
No, not 2019. Excuse me, 1999. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went in 2000. So 1999. I got my GED. I had my years messed up. I got my GED in 1999, and since had been in college at Luther Rice and for ministerial reasons, Beulah Heights University and so forth. But yeah, man, that's a good question. I don't think that a white kid at 17 years old, same situation, would have done 10 years in prison.
No.
If he went, it would have been for a year or something. If he went
6 months.
Right.
And probation.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh hell, with a toy gun. That's what they said.
Right. Yeah, of course. Of course.
But it was all part of your journey, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It made you who you is today.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
You probably wouldn't have been preaching or doing nothing.
Nothing. Yep.
When the words say he'll give you back everything that was taken. Look, I know. Look,
right.
everything. So, and I felt like because when we met you, like I said, you had just gotten out. And it was like, you had been burned, like you hadn't been touched. Like you said, you don't look like what you had to go through.
Right.
I'm quite sure it was a lot. So yeah, you was spared. It was a reason that you had to do that time. But like on the flip side, like you said, a white person wouldn't have had it.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I got something to say on the part of like I never dealt with the racism or whatever, like being a black struggle, but I have seen like in like corporate jobs.
Oh yeah.
The growth aspect. Like I was at a job, they would have me to come in and be in the focus groups, and because they want my opinion, talk to over all the employees, talk to them. I'll be the one to speak to the managers and all that, the head thing. But when it comes to me getting a manager job, when I try to apply for it, I always be the one to be the best interviewer, but don't get the job. So after they get a person out, they come to tell me, well, you had, you was the one best interview. I'm like, so I had the best interview and everything else lined up. Why I didn't get the job?
Right.
Oh, they have nothing to say to that. Okay, but when I try to apply for go to another position, that's underneath that. Oh, I can get that easy. Get it easy, but you still want me to be in the thing. So it's just all about, and the head people were white. I hate to say that, but they just how it is.
Right.
They feel like they threatened by what I know and my experience that I can run stuff better than them. I ever had another job where I didn't have no experience. When I first got into IT, the guy that was over me, he'd been there like 30 years, and I'm coming in as a contractor. So I'm learning everything just like this, so quick. They keep throwing stuff on me. I got to the point to where this dude didn't want to take vacation.
Yep.
Oh, he was scared.
He was scared because I would run the show better than him, without a degree. But I just pick up just like that. The only way I got to run it, he got sick. one time, and I had to run the whole show for a week, and everything went smooth. So yeah, it just they feel threatened by a black man or somebody that can learn quicker. Right. It just like the growth is stopped. It's done. Okay. But to me, I take it as okay. It's time to go on somewhere else.
Yeah.
So after I left that one position, I went to one job, was there a month, and became a lead data center technician. 8 months later, I became the manager of the whole department. So it's just all about when the sun stops, you can't stop with it. You just gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
And that's been our claim to fame since we were brought over here. Blacks have always had to weather the storm. You know what I mean? And a lot of people see more potential in you than you see in yourself.
Exactly.
Them people know. They know, like, this dude can run this place.
Right.
I've had a pastor tell me to my face, he said, you preaching at another pastor's church, that pastor has to have a great deal of security. That's what he told me. He said, because you come up, you're full of life, you got the flair, and for him to put you up, he's got to have a great deal of security. Is what he told me out of his own mouth. So some people don't have that security. You know,
you got other people see more than you see yourself.
That's what I just said. That's
and
right.
That's right. My wife and my business. She saw something that I didn't see, but she kept pushing me.
That's right.
And now the business that I'm in the day, I don't get it all to her. You know, it's my success.
That's all right.
So,
But yeah, that's one thing, like you were saying, as far as with the companies, they put the title on the systemic racism. That part that we don't see. I feel like, growing up in Donaldsonville, you saw your friends. Y'all know, I had a lot of white friends. I tell my son that he was like, you had white friends? Yes, I did. But then seeing they could get some jobs at the bank, at the courthouse, but where we got to be at Pizza Hut, Hardee's, and
Hardee's,
Bill Dollar, or whatever, Max Market. But it's like that part, I knew it was something different, but not really knowing. Okay, well maybe they did something that I didn't do for them to get those positions. It's like, nah, we on the same playing field. It's just that the color of your skin is why they were chosen and why you were not. And so, just growing up and seeing that, it's like, okay, it got to be a better way.
Gotta be a better way.
I don't plan on clocking in for nobody all my life.
No, that's right.
And so it's time for me, move up, make my own. And so we create these entrepreneurships, and we create our own businesses for us to grow and build for our kids. And I think that's part of the generational curse that we as a people are starting to break, because we have our parents that clocked in. My mama worked at the factory for 35 years. How long yours? She's about 30 something. And so it's like they struggling just to make ends meet, and then it's like at the end of the day, are you satisfied? Have you really grown? It's like, no, it's a new day. We gotta make, do better for our kids. And so that, I think that's one thing that I do commend us. Like you say, we as a black, as a people, we take the struggle and we handle it so well, and we continue to grow and continue to strive. And I think it's like, ain't no holding us back. Look.
Because we built tough. It's hard work. We know what hard work is, so that's how we easy to persevere. All the options.
Keep pushing through. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank y'all so much. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. I appreciate y'all for coming in and sharing with me, and hope we'll get a chance to chop it up again, break bread and chop it up again another time. Listen, thank you so much for rocking with us. You can follow me on Instagram, The Real Miss Dre. Continue to tune in. Love you all. God bless. Smooches.
Peace.